to our next story. The fugitive whistleblower Edward Snowden, former US President Bill Clinton, and a Russian newspaper are all in the running for this year's Nobel Peace Prize. Also on the list, and for the second time, is Afghan schoolgirl Malala Yousafzai. Sadia Chowdhury has this report.
She missed out last year after an anti-chemical weapons group became the surprise winner. But Malala is once again in the running for her work as an education activist. The teenager has become an internationally recognized symbol of promoting women's rights and education. Last year, Malala was the youngest person to be nominated for the prize. She's come a long way since she first campaigned for girls to attend school. Malala's hometown of Mingora in Pakistan's Swat Valley was infiltrated by fighters from Afghanistan. They'd set up courts, executed residents and closed girls' schools, including the one that Malala attended. The young schoolgirl was determined not to give up and rose to fame when she wrote a blog under a pen name about living under Taliban rule. In October 2012, Taliban gunmen fired on Malala's school bus, shooting her in the head and neck at close range and wounding 2 of her classmates. Malala not only survived the attack but went on to celebrate her 16th birthday with a passionate speech at the United Nations.
Let us pick up. Let us pick up our books and our pens. They are our most powerful weapons.
The teenager has gone on to make several public appearances, receiving a number of honors. Last September, she was awarded the Clinton Global Citizens Award at a ceremony in New York. During her acceptance speech, she touched on issues ranging from child labor and poverty to inequality and injustice among women, from Afghanistan to Syria. Pakistan has 5 million children out of school, a number only surpassed by Nigeria, and girls' education remains a problem not just in Pakistan, but across the border in Afghanistan too, where there are nearly as many girls not in education as there are at school. The Nobel Peace Prize will be announced tomorrow.
Well, in the studio to discuss this story is Nazifa Haqpal, who's Second Secretary at the Human Rights and Women's Affairs Desk in the Afghan Embassy here in London. Welcome to the programme. So I'm not assuming that just because Malala is your countrywoman you think she'd get the prize, but do you?
I think she is deserved to get this prize as a young campaigner for promoting women's rights and girls' education, especially in our region, like Mangera, Peshawar, Afghanistan. We are assuming they're having the same situation, that women are in a risk for their social life, for their social activities outside the home, and her bravery to work there. And when the tragedy attack, she was shot on her head. It's very tragic, and beside of these all tragics, she was not backward, and she was more courageous, and she took this courage forward. And internationally, she is speaking out for the women, for the girls' education. And those bad steps or those bad actions that the Taliban on that region are against the women, she is bravely talking on this. So I think she is deserved for this, and we hope that she get this prize tomorrow.
She still faces a death threat, doesn't she?
Yeah, of course. We have met the Afghanistan embassy and our ambassador, and especially the staff. They convey the President Karzai message to her while she was in hospital, and then we had a celebration for her recovery here in London with other Afghan students based in London. So on that time that we met, and still that we have contact with her, she is still in threats. It's a very horrific point for her and for many women there. And it's not just Malala. She's a symbol for those women that are not having this opportunity to speak out and to say their real story of their life to the rest of the world. Many women and girls are facing threats, death threats in Afghanistan, and practically they are assassinated by Taliban in Afghanistan and Pakistan because they are speaking out for their rights, for their dignity, and for those things that they are deserve as a equal human and in this world or in the society.
Well, you say she's a symbol, but I mean, she clearly couldn't return to Afghanistan without a threat to her life. So is she a symbol of something that's changed, or is it something that still has to change?
There is still something has to change. She is a symbol that has changed for speaking very courageously with to international, to those politicians that they are having very significant influence on the politics of that region, like fighting against Taliban and Al-Qaeda and many other extremist groups in order to enhance and strengthen the security situation in both countries. And so this is a kind of leverage that she can have on the international politics on that area. But at the same time, there are many things that needs to be changed, and still she and many other women like her, many Afghan women, has long way to go and to talk and to struggle for their rights. And
how much has changed? I mean, we've had 14 years of occupation in Afghanistan by NATO troops.
We do not call this occupation. It's from our government perspective, of the people of Afghanistan perspective, it's a kind of assistance mission of international community for Afghanistan that fight against Taliban and Al-Qaeda there in Afghanistan, and especially on border areas. So in this 14 areas, there were huge and tremendous changes in the domestic politics of Afghanistan. As you know, that before, since the falling of the Taliban, the women are working outside, they are taking participation in social life. But before, during the Taliban, they were wearing burqa, they were not able to work, they were not allowed to work outside the house, and even they were not allowed to leave the house without a mahram. So it was a very brutal time and there were very brutal actions that was going on the women of Afghanistan.
I'm afraid that's where we're going to have to leave this story because we've run out of time. But our final story of the night looks at the